यहाँ सबैजनाले एकचोटि ताली बजाइदिनु होला है कार्यक्रमको सुरुवात हामी प्राणका सबैजनालाई हजुरलाई धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छौँ हजुर हाम्रो कार्यक्रममा आइदिनुभयो
ग्लोबल आइएमए बैंक सबैका लागि बैंक
Not all hydros. I think storage is not considered renewable, but all other hydros are considered renewable. Hydro is good. We are blessed with a lot of hydro potential and as well as generation in Nepal. And we just love to use those differences in the levels of water that is to be dropped and the amount of water that we have in Nepal. But what made me think slightly differently was that a number of our hydro plants were not functioning properly. And that's primarily due to climate change. What we have seen over the last several decades now is that the dry season is getting drier and longer. And this is the time when the hydropower producers get the 8 rupees 40 paisa, right? And that's the time when we have the most demand for energy in the system. And then look at it the other way. In the monsoon period, we are getting very high intensity precipitation and the duration is very short. So high intensity, short duration rainfall, causing landslides, flash floods, you name it, and a lot of damage to the hydropower structures. We saw last year, last year, there was a lot of damage. Upper Tamakosi is still not generating at full production. A number of other plants, I think 21 other plants were damaged. 2 years ago, the Heva Kola Valley, all of the plants were damaged there. So what does that give us in terms of energy security? We don't have secure energy supplies. We are banking on a number of run-of-river hydros, which generate a lot during the monsoon, but generate very little during the dry season. This year, I think NEA would be in a better position to say, but most of the run-of-river hydros are generating only 20% of their installed capacity, right? So we don't see the load shedding here in Kathmandu, but if you go out of the valley, you'll see this load shedding happening even now, scheduled or non-scheduled, scheduled for the industries, non-scheduled for the domestic users. So what could be the solution? We need to have an energy mix. We cannot just bank upon hydro for our energy requirements. Yes, we are connected to the Indian grid now, and we can import electricity from India, but we are limited by the transmission capacities. There are congestions, there are limitations, and then there are certain geopolitical reasons because of which we cannot export or import electricity from India. So if we want to be more independent in terms of our generation resources, we have to look at other sources. And solar is a very obvious choice for us. We have seen that, I think one of the previous speakers, Mr. Rai, had mentioned that the solar generation, the insolation levels are pretty high in Nepal, especially if you go towards the western part of Nepal and also the northern parts of Nepal. There are certain areas in the high altitude deserts where we can get very high solar radiation levels. It's just like what you have in Ladakh, Mr. Shobit. In Mustang, we have 6.2, 6.6 kilowatt hour per square meter per day type of solar radiation levels. But the point is, we need to have these solar generation projects close to the load centers. From Mustang, you will have to build a very high capacity 400 kV line all the way down to Pokhara or even beyond. So there are a lot of limitations in our system. We need to strengthen our transmission line system. I see Dr. Gewali is here. Hopefully we will have some transmission lines from Mustang also. But I see that there has been a bit of shift in the view of the policymakers. Earlier, it was only off-grid solar. Now we are seeing a lot more of on-grid solar. And yes, there are restrictions, like 10% only of the installed capacity. So if we have the installed capacity as of today around 3,500 megawatts, that's just 350 megawatts for solar. But what do we have in production right now? It's about 106 megawatts in production, around 35 megawatts in construction, and where are the others? So there's a lot of gap over there. And yes, it's quite an interesting feeling that the Nepal Electricity Authority has gone ahead with an auction of another 800 megawatts, which was increased to 960 megawatts. The last round of auction was about 2 years ago, and the number of megawatts which were auctioned was around 230 megawatts, out of which 95 megawatts were successfully bid, and only 35 megawatts are being constructed. So there is some mismatch here. And I'll tell you what the mismatch is. There's quite a few things, ranging from policy level decisions to what is actually being practiced. First thing is this 10%. I heard another 10% here about the battery energy storage system. Now this will be very easily picked up by the policymakers, and we will be forced to put in 10% battery energy. I would love to do batteries. At SOPAN, we are advocating for batteries as well. We are advocating for distributed generation management. We are advocating for green hydrogen. You name it. We are taking up that mantle with us. Now, this 10%, where did it come from? Who put that number? What is the scientific basis for that? There is none. Actually, I'm not a systems specialist, but if you talk to system people over here, they will say that the system will stabilize on its own. As soon as the different types of energy are supplied to the system will stabilize. Whether it's 10% or 20%, I think in India it's more than 20% now, solar or variable renewable energies is much higher. So why put these artificial numbers? Then the other thing, in terms of the acceptance of the technology. We are all hydro people here in Nepal. We love hydro. Whether it's in the private sector or in the government sector, everybody is a hydro engineer. Even our politicians are hydro engineers. And they do not recognize any other source of electricity. Yes, it's variable renewable energy. It has its own issues in terms of intermittency, in terms of system instabilities. But there are technologies available now. Huawei, right? Solis, everyone is there. Sungrow. Inverters are becoming very capable now. We can provide energy on demand. We have the battery energy storage systems. Let's go for that. Why just limit ourselves to 10%? Interesting that when NE did the last round of auctions, the amount bid was 960 megawatts. Where did that 960 megawatts come from? And I really commend the people at NEA who took that decision of going up to 960 megawatts, because this is the 10% of the contracted PPA energy, megawatts. So it's not the installed capacity, but the contracted energy. Now, the thing is, solar will probably come in 2 years, 3 years' time. The hydro takes a much longer time, 3-4 years of studies, 4-5 years of construction. So you're looking at 7 or 8 years, whereas solar comes online maximum 2 years, 3 years. So where will the mismatch come? I think this 10% issue will not be fixed yet. The system will have to stabilize itself. The other thing that I would like to point out is, for any industry to grow, we need to have a stable and predictable, two words, stable and predictable legal and regulatory framework. We just heard about the Electricity Act, which was formulated in 2049, 1992. That is still in existence. It's a very good act, but it's now being tweaked, it's now being changed, and is it going to be for the benefit of everyone? I doubt. So there's a lot of pushback from the private sector and others as well to even scrap that bill. Let's come up with something new. Stable and predictable. Look at what happened over the last 2 years. Till last year, we were developing solar projects with zero VAT. From this year, the government in the financial bill introduced VAT on solar components as well. So the cost of projects has easily gone up by 10%. And here we are having these reverse auctions, which are pushing the prices down, and we have had to pay 10% more on the price. So where is the predictability? Where is the stability in the government? Look at, again, I don't want to compare with hydro. We are not competing with hydro. We are complementing the generation from hydros. Run-of-river hydros, they are generating lowest during the dry season, and the solar would be generating the maximum at this time. So we could easily displace whatever is the requirement of imports from India. Also look at our storage hydros or the daily peaking run-of-river hydros. They could be easily stopped during the daytime while we are using our solar resources. We could store that water and then generate during the evening peak hours. Similar to the hybridization that you were talking about, Mr. Ray. We can have our own hydro and solar hybridization, add batteries to it, make it even better. So there are a lot of things which we can do. We don't need to rely on only one source of energy. Hydro is good, but hydro is not the only solution. We need to look at other solutions. Climate change is happening very rapidly. Someone just said it was getting very warm. Even in the winter, we should have been cooler here. The glaciers are melting. Glaciers are the primary source of water for the hydros, and they're melting much faster. It's, the 1.5 degrees centigrade increase in temperature has caused the glaciers to melt faster. And how are we contributing more to it? By importing dirty electricity from India. I say dirty because it's all coal-based. We are getting all that black carbon coming from the generation, from the thermal power plants, coming and settling on our glaciers and causing them to melt faster. So my fear is that maybe in 10 years' time, 20 years' time, we may not have any of these glaciers left. So hydros will be at risk. I don't want to scare everyone, but there is a definite chance that the dry season as well as the wet season energy will be reduced. There have been several studies done on that, but remember, the sun will always be there. So let's have a mix of both these generations. Thank you.
प्रोजिल ग्रीन एनर्जी नेपाल चाहिँ एउटा टेक्निकल कम्पनी हो। उहाँको एक्सपर्टिज अथवा प्रोजिल नेपालको एक्सपर्टिज चाहिँ इन्जिनियरिङ, प्लानिङ र कमिसनिङ अफ सोलर प्रोजेक्ट्सको हो। जस्तै अहिले एनईएको टेन्डरमा चाहिँ 960 मेगावाटको अब पिपिए गर्ने चाहिँ एउटा निर्णय भएको छ हैन। त्यो 960 मेगावाट प्लस विभिन्न खालको रुफटप प्रोजेक्टहरू चाहिँ प्रोजिलको लक्ष्य के छ भने टेक्निकल पार्टनर चाहिँ प्रोजिल बनोस्, उनीहरूलाई यो 960 मेगावाट मध्ये 300, 400, 500 मेगावाटको कन्ट्र्याक्ट आओस्, अनि विभिन्न रुफटप जस्तै हाम्रो इन्डस्ट्रीहरूमा चाहिँ रुफटप स्पेसहरू बढी हुन्छ, त्यसको चाहिँ इन्जिनियरिङ र टेक्निकल डिजाइनिङहरू उनीहरू गरेर अनि बनाएर चाहिँ डेभलपरलाई ह्यान्डओभर गर्ने उनीहरूको लक्ष्य छ। 3 मेगावाटको चाहिँ अन्डर कन्स्ट्रक्सन छ, यो चाहिँ रुफटपको भयो। अनि अहिले भर्खरै एउटा एनईएको आफ्नै प्रोजेक्ट लगभग 10 मेगावाटको टेन्डरको थ्रु चाहिँ प्रोजिललाई परेको छ। सो नेपालमा चाहिँ अलरेडी 20 मेगावाटको कन्ट्र्याक्ट प्रोजिललाई पाइसकेको छ। अझै अब लगभग 150 मेगावाट चाहिँ अलमोस्ट फाइनल स्टेजमा, कन्ट्र्याक्टको फाइनल स्टेजमा पुगिसकेको छ। सो उनीहरूको प्रोजिल नेपालको 500 मेगावाटको लक्ष्य मध्ये चाहिँ अलमोस्ट 200 मेगावाटको चाहिँ टार्गेट अलरेडी मिट भइसकेको छ। अनि बाँकी चाहिँ जुन 300 यो अहिले जुनमा भर्खर 150 मेगावाट र अरू थप 300 मेगावाटको चाहिँ कन्स्ट्रक्सन अब आषाढ मसान्तसम्म स्टार्ट हुने गरी छ। पार्टनरको नातालाई चाहिँ रिलायन्स स्पिनिङको रुफटपमा 9 मेगावाट जतिको चाहिँ अलरेडी इन्स्टल भइसकेको छ। तर त्यो प्रोजेक्ट चाहिँ रिलायन्सको क्याप्टिभ कन्जम्सनको लागि हो। त्यसको उत्पादन चाहिँ सबै उत्पादन चाहिँ टोटली त्यो स्पिनिङ मिल्स भित्रै कन्ज्युम हुन्छ। त्यो चाहिँ अब ग्रिडलाई बेच्ने अथवा एनईलाई बेच्ने हैन, त्यो क्याप्टिभ कन्जम्सनको लागि हो। प्राय अहिले नेपालको नियम अनुसार चाहिँ आफ्नै रुफमा जोड्यो भने त्यो उत्पादन चाहिँ आफूलाई कन्ज्युम गर्नुपर्छ।
नेपालको इनर्जी सेक्टरमा एउटा चाहिँ नि बिग एचिभमेन्ट हो, किनकि हामीले गोल्यान्ड ग्रुप र ले चाहिँ नि प्रोजिल ग्रिन इनर्जी इन्डियाको चाहिँ नि यहाँ चाहिँ नि प्रोजिल ग्रिन इनर्जी नेपाल चाहिँ नि हामीले इस्टाब्लिस गर्न सक्यौँ। प्रोजिल ग्रिन इनर्जी इन्डियाको तपाईँले अब सोलरमा रिन्युएबल इनर्जीमा हेर्नुभयो भने आजको मितिमा उसले मोर देन 2200 मेगावाट प्रोजेक्टहरू गरिसकेको छ। जुन अघिको प्रेजेन्टेसन पनि आयो, एउटा सिङ्गल प्रोजेक्ट नै उसले सोलरको 339 मेगावाट 339 मेगावाटको एउटा सिङ्गल प्रोजेक्ट नै उसले गरिसकेको छ। र जुन किसिमको एक्सपर्टिज प्रोजिल ग्रिन इनर्जी इन्डियाको छ, त्यही इनर्जीलाई त्यही एक्सपिरियन्सलाई हामीले यहाँ रेप्लिका गर्न खोजेको हो। र नेपालमा अहिले हालसालै नेपाल विद्युत प्राधिकरणले जुन एउटा अक्सन बिड गरेर 800 मेगावाटको बिड ओपन गरेको थियो, त्यसलाई चाहिँ नि पछि 20% चाहिँ नि एड गरेर चाहिँ 960 मेगावाट गरेको छ। त्यसमा चाहिँ 28 वटा सक्सेसफुल बिडरहरू हुनुहुन्छ। उहाँहरूले 960 मेगावाटको प्रोजेक्टहरू चाहिँ नि अब सुरु गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ। र आजको 24 महिनादेखि 30 महिना जुन किसिमको टाइमलाइन हामीले एग्री गरेका छौँ र जुन किसिमको ग्यारेन्टीहरू हामीले बुझाएका छौँ पर मेगावाट 10 लाख, त्यो बिचमा चाहिँ हामीले गर्न सकेन हाम्रो चाहिँ नि त्यो ग्यारेन्टी नै फोर्फिट हुन्छ हैन, जफत हुन्छ। त्यसले गर्दाखेरि हामीसँग अरू केही चारा छैन। त्यो सबै कुरालाई हेरेर हामीले यो सेक्टरमा र यो रिजनमा काम गरेको र एकदम भास्ट एक्सपिरियन्स भएको प्रोजिललाई नेपाल भित्रेका छौँ। प्रोजिल नेपालमा अहिले जुन एनइएको टेन्डरमा चाहिँ नि 960 मेगावाटमा एटलिस्ट पनि 400-500 मेगावाट चाहिँ नि प्रोजेक्टहरू चाहिँ नि विथिन 2.5 इयर्समा चाहिँ नि सक्सेसफुली कम्प्लिसन गर्न लक्ष्य लिएको छ। त्यो प्रोजेक्टहरू पहिले चाहिँ नि डेभलपरहरूले पत्याइदिनु पर्यो हामीले।
1004 मेगावाट बिजुली चाहिँ भारतबाट हामी किन्नको लागि स्वीकृत पायो भनेर भनेको छु। त्यो पनि अब वास्तवमा सोलरको इनर्जी होला। र हामीले चाह्यौँ भने साँच्चै नै सरकारले अलिकति यसलाई अगाडि बढाइदिने हो भने अर्को वर्षमा हामी 1000 मेगावाट त नेपालमा उत्पादन गर्न सक्ने रहेछौँ भन्ने जस्तो लाग्यो। किनभने अहिले यो सोलरको मार्केट हेर्दै गर्दा र सोलरको बारेमा बुझ्दै गर्दा झन् 7-8 महिना 1 वर्षमा झन्नै प्रोजेक्टै हुन्छ भनेपछि साँच्चै नै यसको विकास गर्ने हो भने हामीले अर्को वर्षदेखि बिजुली किन्नुपर्छ जस्तो लागेन। अथवा किन्नु परे पनि थोरै मात्रामा किन्नुपर्छ कि भन्ने लाग्छ। किनभने जलविद्युतका कुराहरू पनि थुप्रै छन्। थुप्रै यो वर्षमा पनि झन् 250 मेगावाट जति बिजुली उत्पादन भइसक्यो र अब केहीहरू हुँदैछन्। त्यसले गर्दाखेरि वास्तवमा गोल्यान्ड ग्रुपलाई म विशेष धन्यवाद पनि दिन चाहन्छु। वास्तवमा साँच्चै नै यो 500 हुन त हाइड्रोमा पनि उहाँहरू थुप्रै एग्रेसिभली अगाडि बढिराख्नु भएको छ र सोलरमा पनि बढ्दाखेरि खासै हुन्छ। तर 2-4 वटा कुरा जस्तो अब अहिले थुप्रै हामी विडम्बना भन्नुपर्छ कि के भन्नुपर्छ, अब यो 800 मेगावाटको पिपिए भएर के अरे यो टेन्डरिङ भयो, तर कहाँ छ भन्ने पनि अहिले एकदमै दोधारमा परेका छौँ। एक त टेन्डरिङ गर्ने, उता अदालत जाने, सबै कुराहरू हामी अदालत जाँदै जाने हो भने अब सरकारै चाहिँदैन कि भनेर पनि म थुप्रो ठाउँमा भन्न थाल्छु। हाम्रा वनका कुराहरू छन्, वन पनि अदालतले क्यान्सल गरिदिने, अर्को पनि क्यान्सल गरिदिने, नगर भन्ने कुरा अब हामीले गर्न पाउने कि नपाउने भनेर अदालतमा गएर टेन्डर हाल्ने कि भन्ने खालको कुरा पनि आउन थालिसकेको छ। त्यसले गर्दाखेरि यो कुराहरूलाई क्लियर गरेर जानुपर्छ। र मैले माननीय मन्त्रीज्यूलाई पनि अब थुप्रै पटक हामीले भनिसकेका थियौँ। अब यहाँ एकदमै रेस्पेक्टेड अब मन्त्रालयबाट अब सर हुनुहुन्छ, अब यहाँ पनि थुप्रै हुनुहुन्छ, अघि रेगुलेटरी बोर्डका अध्यक्षज्यू गइसक्नुभयो। र वास्तवमा हामीले क्लियर भिजन चाहिँ लिएर अगाडि बढ्नुपर्छ। हामीले कति गर्ने हो कति नगर्ने हो। किनभने जलविद्युतको कुरामा 28,500 मेगावाट उत्पादन गर्ने भनेर लक्ष्य लिएर अगाडि बढिसकेको छ, तर सोलर कसरी जाने भन्ने कुरा प्रष्ट भइसकेको छैन। र अस्ति भर्खरै 2 दिन धुलीखेलमा यो विधानको बारेमा, ऊर्जा विधेयकको बारेमा थुप्रै छलफल भएको थियो। म गएको थियौँ, हाम्रो वरिष्ठ उपाध्यक्षज्यू आउनु भएको छ, हाम्रो महासचिवज्यू पनि हुनुहुन्छ, हामी गएको थियौँ। धेरै छलफल भयो, तर त्यहाँ कहीँ पनि यो अल्टरनेटिभ एनर्जी भनेर कहीँ छैन। ऊर्जाको एनर्जी भन्ने छ, तर हामीले यो कुराहरू पनि राख्ने कोसिस गऱ्यौँ। किनभने विद्युत विधेयक बन्दैछ, अब कहीँ अल्टरनेटिभ एनर्जी अटाएकै छैन। किनकि यो सोलरको एनर्जी मात्रै, के अरे यो ऊर्जाको एनर्जी मात्रै भयो। त्यस कारणले गर्दा यसलाई के भन्ने, कसरी लाने भन्ने खालको कुरा पनि प्रष्ट हुनुपर्छ। किनभने अहिले विधेयक बन्दै गर्दाखेरि फेरि 2 वर्ष 4 वर्षपछि अर्को विधेयक बन्दैन। किनभने 49 सालमा बनेको विधेयक अहिले भर्खर यसलाई अपडेट गर्दैछ भनेपछि अब बनेको विधेयक अर्को 30 वर्ष 40 वर्षपछि मात्रै फेरि यसलाई रिभ्यू गर्ने होला, रिन्यू गर्ने होला। त्यसले गर्दाखेरि आजकै दिनमा हाम्रा कुराहरू के हो भन्ने कुरा पनि प्रष्टसँगले राख्न सक्नुपर्छ भन्ने लाग्छ।
Very recently unveiled very, I should not say ambitious, but, very important document in the energy sector in Nepal, which requires huge resources. Resources here, I mean the financial resources, technical resources, infrastructure resources. And for this, the enabling environment in the legal front, in the policy front, in the implementation procedural front, as well as in the regulatory front. As a person who is regulating the sector, my focus will be in 4 areas of electricity: generation, transmission, distribution, and trade. In the generations, non-hydro renewable, there has to be 5 to 10% from the non-hydro. This includes solar, and then I'm very much happy to have, the one of the very good company in India who is trying to do something here in Nepal, and pleased to know that you will be installing 500 megawatt within, 2 years time horizon. This is very exciting news. In the solar, I also like the way the pricing mechanism has been, recently established. We have a kind of, reference price, and then through competitive process, the price has been discovered. This is one of the very good, model. In the meantime, I also would like to mention, the impact of variable renewable energy in the total grid. That's why, we also need to do a kind of, proper study. Of course, the NEA has been doing the grid impact study, the load flow analysis, the evacuation possibilities. That's why the focus will be, to install systems near the substations. This is very good move. From the regulatory side, we will be supportive in establishing various regulatory instruments in the generation front. This includes, the pricing model, the standard, the power purchase, model, so that everybody is treated equally, be it the government-owned company or the privately owned company. So this is one part. In the transmission, also, we are now trying to develop a model where, private sector also can participate in both the transmission line development, as well as, the providing non-discriminatory access in the existing transmission network. There, our focus area is to devise a kind of, workable, wheeling mechanism. This also includes the tariff, other, requirements, the metering requirements, the deviation settlement requirements, energy accounting, auditing, all those technical part also needs to be addressed, and we are trying our best to actually devise a model for transmission. In the distribution, of course, again, the utility scale solar is one part. We also, need to promote other, generation source. For that also, the technical standards, especially from the consumer side. Our job, our role is to protect the rights and interests of consumers. At the same time, we also make sure that, distribution company or the DISCOM doesn't go, bankrupt, meaning we need to make sure that their financial health is also ensured. And in the trade, again, we are in discussion, we are in partnership with our various development partners to establish a robust, cross-border transmission network. This also includes, the various regulatory instruments. So these are our work, but one point I just would like to mention here is basically, the procedural issue. We very recently, initiated a kind of, document management systems where you don't need to come to commission to actually, and also do not need to meet people there. You submit applications, we process, through online, and then the reply or the response also will be automatically generated to you people. So that kind of a model we have now started. 1 month is basically for the trial period. I request you to participate, you to use that platform. If you browse our website, you'll see DMS, and then this will be, authenticated through our government integrated data management systems. So this will be our priority, but at the same time, there are other areas we will be working closely with 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 our partners, basically, the power producers, power, transmission companies, the distribution companies, and other, the trader. So this is the model that we have adopted. But one thing I just would like to mention here is, the regulation, either we follow the rules or we follow the principle. Without ad hoc decision will not be made from our side. That assurance I can actually provide to you all. If you have any questions, just send us an email or approach to us. With these words, once again, I would like to congratulate you for this event. I wish you all the very best. Because of my other commitment, I also need to, leave a little bit early. I excuse for that. With these words, once again, thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you.
Chance now, we would like to start this event by lighting up the banner. हजुरलाई धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छौँ हजुर हाम्रो कार्यक्रममा आइदिनु भयो. Mr. Ganesh Karki is the president. We would like to welcome Mr. Nauraj Dhakal, he is the executive director हुनुहुन्छ Independent Power Producer Association Nepalबाट.